it's really easy for this set, actually. I'll tell you for why.
What is that?
So I'm just muting that. There we are. So it's just muting me coming through there. How do I get a chat to happen on here? Oh, it's
Are we live?
yeah, now we are. Picking bogeys.
No.
Picking boogers.
How do I look? Do I look like a Chudley Campbell?
Yeah, but that's just your natural look.
How do you get the audio off in the end? Do you just rip it from the file, or
Yeah, I can't remember how I did it, to be honest.
does someone else do it?
No, I did do it. I can't remember if I did it off of Audacity or if I did it off of an app. Not an app, like a website. Because you used to have those. You used to have those like audio to MP3, like a YouTube to MP3 websites, didn't you?
Yeah.
But whenever I tried to use those, they just didn't work. Like they were like,
they were a bit sodden, weren't they?
Yeah, they were all right. They always worked, but this was. Like, I remember going on them, and they were just like ads after ads, even with like ad blocker on.
My head is so big, it's unreal.
What, your head?
Yeah.
Hey man, it's not. It's just love what God gave you.
It is what it is, isn't it? You can't change it now.
All right, let's
Focus up.
Yeah. You good?
Go for it.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. You're here with me, Adam, my PIC, my life partner, as we decided.
PIC?
Partner in crime.
Oh, right.
Mikey. What's up, Mikey?
What's up? How's it going?
Yeah, it's going good. It's going good. It's been an all right weekend. It's my birthday on Friday.
Was or is?
Was. What is my birthday on Friday. My birthday's on the 14th.
Okay.
It's not already happened.
Right, good.
Don't worry.
Because I missed it.
Yeah. It's all right. You don't have to get me anything.
I know. It's just really nice to wish you happy birthday.
Yeah, I know. It's nice. But yeah, it's my birthday on Friday. It's been a nice weekend. The weather's been horrible. Did you vote?
I certainly did.
So did I, and fuck Northampton.
Yeah, let's just not go into it.
This is now a political podcast brought to you by the people of Kingdom Gaming, the political platform of Kingdom Gaming.
I don't think we really have, no one in the UK has the right to really do a political, we live in a one-party state. How could you even do a podcast about it?
Oh mate, it's insane. Because I got really into watching stuff in the lead up to the US election.
Yeah.
Like really every day I was watching this guy. He had a pretty good YouTube channel, and it was really, really interesting. Whereas the problem that we have here is we have people who complain that for the last 10 years they've been left behind or no one wants to help them, so they vote for the party that has been in power for the last 12 years. So
Yeah, but listen, Gordon Brown sold the gold. All right, and that excuses. Now let's just not get into it.
Yeah, so let's not get too political. All the viewers dropped out. So. So yeah, we are live on Twitch, and we will also be having this go up on all good podcasting networks. But you will know that if you are listening or watching this.
There you go.
So
some bad podcasting networks as well.
yeah, my favourite podcasting networks are those outlaw ones,
Yeah.
like DirtNet or something. I don't know.
We'd like to clarify that was a joke now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There could be. Don't go to DirtNet.
Do not go to dirtnet.com or dirt.net. No.
Well, yeah. So today we're just going to riff. We're just going to talk about some bits. The most important bit to talk about is we've just had pre-release season for Monarch, the fourth release from Flesh and Blood.
Yeah, I did like Crucible of War in concept. Thought it was really good. 2 sets and then like a supplementary one. I hope they're not going to carry on with that though, are they?
I don't know. They've only kind of announced Kingdoms. They haven't announced what's after that, which would be okay. But then again, if they do it in the way that they did Crucible, then we're in a point where you've got heroes who have a lot more. Because obviously we've just got some Runeblade, we've just got some Warrior, we've just got some...
Or maybe they could do, Monarch, before we've got Kingdoms, maybe whatever that's going to be, and then this round of Crucible could be harking back to some love for the things that didn't.
You could top up so you've got one new hero in Monarch, and 3 old ones. Let's say you get one new hero in Kingdom and 3 old ones. The third set could just be the 2 that you haven't done from the originals and the 2 from Monarch and Kingdoms to top them up.
Yeah.
So, but we don't know. There is literally zero information about what's coming after Kingdoms. We've literally just got Monarch. It released on Friday.
Yeah. I have faith and confidence in the design process in this game. It's yet to, what's the word? It's yet to disappoint me. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things where I think everything is just working well. So keep going, LSS. Keep it up. I'm happy. It's really weird. The last new game I played properly was 5 years ago, with Game of Thrones. I was so happy when that came out. But by the time that they had what would be their 4th release, so a year and a half in, it was like, you could do better. Don't give Lannister a big box sort of thing.
Wasn't it first? Or no?
No, Stark, then Lannister, then Night's Watch.
There we go.
So, and then Builders came out in Night's Watch, and we were all happy.
It was a good deck. Shame about the rest of the whole process.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, so pre-release season. So I had signed up to 4. I'll prefix this. Unfortunately, there was some shipping issues with pre-release. Absolutely out of anyone's control, I think. LSS shipped it to the distributors on time. The distributors tried to get it on time. Just global shipping crisis has messed everything up. So very few pre-releases fired on the day they were supposed to. So it's just a matter of course. And it's I think a lot of people did the best they could with what they were given.
Yeah.
So the first one we attended was Mana Screws. So Mana Screw is a local shop run by Mark. He does a lot of stuff, card gaming, that's his thing. Game nights, great for him. I think Mondays is going to be his game night for Flesh and Blood, but also every other day there is Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh.
Something, isn't there? Yeah. And then obviously several different Magic nights, because there's not just...
There's a big Commander scene. So if Commander is your...
Colossal.
Yeah. Commander is your jam. There's a big Commander scene, and it's different varying levels. I've played in it a fair bit, and it's I have some very strong decks and then some not strong decks, and the same table will just pull stuff out and match you.
Everyone asks, don't they? They say, what sort of deck is this? And if you say, it's a 6, then I've got a 7 or I've got a 5, I'll just pull that out.
Yeah, so it's good. So that's Mana Screw. It's a good store. So Mark ran that. It ran very smoothly, a little long, but
what can you do? It's the times we're living in, isn't it?
Yeah. But it was a real good event. I played Illusionist. I played Prism.
Obviously.
Because...
You opened a Luminarch Ascension.
No. Not that. Luminarch Ascension is Bolton. So I opened a Luminarch Ascension in... So I had a pre-release kit from Top Deck In over in Milton Keynes, right. But they couldn't run the event. No. So me and some guys just bullshitted with it online. I opened Prism, and basically I told other people this, and one of them won a pre-release with just this tip, which is if you've got a red Phantasmify and the gloves, play Prism.
Yeah.
And in at least 3 of my games, with 2 of my games with the Dominate Angel, and then another game was just that. Powered up. It's you're hitting for 12 or 13. With Dominate, you're hitting for 10 basically. Pop the gloves, Phantasmify. I went 4-0.
There we go.
Yeah, I won the event. It's just that little combo. Just if you're ever playing a sealed, that is a set of cards to look out for. That is so good that it is worth considering making that your pile just because of those cards.
Yeah, a lot of the other stuff I found anyway playing in 2 is that it's quite opposite if you're going for everything. I mean, I do not know how people get Kane to work.
You played Levia, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I went Bolton on the first one, Mana Screws one, and then Levia, in the second one, because I was looking at it and I thought, hold on, I've got a lot of things that just hit for 6, 7, 8, maybe 11 if I find the other card that boosts it. And it's how do you deal with that? Yeah.
Well, so Ferg played Chain in the first one. I played him in round 3 maybe, and in the Mana Screw one, and it was good. The problem is that I found with both of the bad guy ones in like a sealed environment is it is a lot harder to offset the downside.
Yeah.
Much harder than it is to like uplift the good side for the good guys, like the downside for the good guys. Like it's not really a downside putting things into your soul. It's one less card in your hand, sort of thing. But it's a lot harder to go. So if you're playing Levia, like you could end up blood debting yourself for like 3 or 4 nearly every turn just because you don't get that card because you don't have the extensive pool.
You're playing limited, yeah. And as I said, I think it's much more of a, what is it? The payoff seems about the same, but one is blood debt and one is like your soul or phantasmal, and it's like, well, that's not even for me to deal with. That's my opponent's got to worry if I'm charging my soul. My opponent's got to worry if they can't defend with 6 or more. But on the other side, it's like, I don't care if you've got loads of blood debt stuff because you're just going to end up bleeding out to it.
Well, that's the good thing about Chain I found is that, and this is I think something more for constructed, but you can see it if you get a good pool, is you're basically not playing with your hand with Chain. Your hand is the economy to play the cards that you've shackled into.
Yeah.
So if you've got enough cards that can be played from Banish, then great. But the problem is you are playing sealed, so do you have enough cards?
No, yeah.
And that's what I think is the problem, because for Bolton you just need to have enough cards to charge, and I think 8 to 10 is enough. With there is no real downside like Phantasma Fight, because in sealed you're not playing for the you're not playing to use our weapon that much for Prism.
No.
So you just kind of go in big hit, big hit, big hit. Hope your opponent's not playing 6s.
Yeah.
Which not many people were playing Levia. I didn't see any until our last game in the second skirmish, not skirmish. We did the second pre-release. We did. So you know, I really like the sealed environment though.
It is good. I'll be a bit more enthused when it turns to draft. But because you know, sealed is not only is it obviously quite costly if you're doing it on a regular basis, but it's less accessible. Draft, it's like you're getting cards one at a time. I don't know. I just find the process a lot easier. But then again, I've never drafted this game, so
I've not drafted this game, but I do love draft.
Yeah.
So So I mean, the first one was a good event. What did you do? You played
Bolton in number 1.
How'd you go?
2-0 according to Gem, but one of the losses was a draw. But in Gem, that's just a loss, isn't it? So
2-2.
Yeah, 2-2 or 2-1-1 in old money. It was really good. It was great. It was like I didn't want to pretend I wanted to know how to play Chain. I didn't get the boots or
the gloves and Phantasma.
The gloves and Phantasmify for Prism, and I could have gone between again Brute or Bolton, but I wanted to play Bolton. I said it right from the beginning, right on the last episode of this before it came out. I said I'm going to play Bolton right out of the gate, and luckily enough I got a relatively okay pool. I got a Spilt Blood in each.
Yeah.
In each one, but I didn't play Bolton in the second one. I said I opened a Spilt Blood.
You looked long and hard at the. I remember you looked long and hard at the pool, and you were like, "This one works out more." Like the Levia one, just.
I put Bolton together just before that. I was like, I'm gonna play Bolton again because I've got a Spill Blood. I've got these extra bits. I've got all of his equipment and whatnot. And then I looked through the deck, and I was like, I have 1 attack action with 6 or more.
Yeah. It does hurt. It does hurt if you come up against Prism. So the next one we did was our one, the Kingdom Gaming one. We ended up having to do that on a Wednesday night because of the delays, but it went pretty well. A lot of people had some good feedback for it, so I'm pretty chuffed with that. One of the last online events we're going to do, because looks like we're going to be able to do in-store events, which is pretty damn great.
Did you not hear the breaking news today?
Well, that you're allowed to kiss each other.
From the 17th, yeah, you're allowed close and intimate relations.
I saw that headline. But I thought they were. I thought they were doing. I thought they were doing the press release tomorrow. But I guess it's just
someone
leaked,
always finds out before, don't they?
But yeah. So we ran that again. all 16 people turned up, which was great. In fact, the only ones that I'd seen where all 16 people turned up was Manor Screws and ours. So shows we're doing something pretty right there as a community. But we ran pretty smooth. I played Bolton. Because what I did is I think it was 11 charge cards and Luminarch Ascension. If you don't know what Luminarch Ascension is, it is the definition of broken.
Especially in that small sealed environment, it's good, isn't it?
On a 20 health Environ, so Blitz, Bolton is insane. Bolton is even worse with Centauri Sabres.
Oh, yeah, that's what we were just talking about before we went live. We want to know what's going to happen in Blitz.
Yeah, so we'll just cover this off and then kind of go on that. But so I went 4-0. I beat some absolute Chudley cannon in the final.
It was a close game. We both went 3-0. It was like we were paired against each other, and obviously you switched back to Bolton. Yeah,
so I played Prism in round 3 because I was just like, I'll just give it a go. I was like, I had this pool of loads of angels, but then against...
I remember watching that game.
Yeah, I just had this pool of loads of angels. It was the end, wasn't it, where I had 3 of the Go Again Phantasm cards. So I had 3 of the blue Go Again Phantasm cards in a row because I'd been pitching them. Yeah. And the guy just couldn't keep up. I think he actually would have decked himself if he didn't die that round.
When you're at a point, when you're just defending with 4 or even 3 cards a turn, and it's like, I just get so demoralised at that point. Then I'm like, I'm probably not going to. What can actually get me out of this situation? And it's not a lot.
No,
it really isn't a lot.
It really comes down to your opponent losing steam.
Yeah. That's why people obviously hang on and they do keep defending. And it's like maybe one time they'll just draw,
badly.
But at the end of the day, that's even less likely to happen in sealed, in my opinion, because you're not filling your deck with combat tricks, or you might have 1 or 2, as you say, and or it's written all over your equipment. But at the end of the day, you just want to hit fast and hard and go home. So it's all about attack actions.
Yeah, and that's what happened in game 3. I was just basically, it was Phantasmify, or whatever, I can't remember what it's called. The one that is 3, and it was a blue one, cost 1.
Yeah.
But then I also was able to attack with a token every turn. So my opponent was pretty much just drawing up to stay in the game.
Yeah.
Against yourself, you went turn 1 and you were like, my hand is awful, so you just Arsenaled something and passed because you had nothing to attack with.
No.
And then...
Had I said I had all combat tricks.
Yeah, and then turn 1 I basically just filled my soul a little bit.
Yeah. And
then turn 2 you're like, I'm hitting you for 11.
It was Warmonger's recited into Dreadwood Rumbler, the red one. Yeah, it was good. That game was close, as you said. You just obviously in the last round you let yourself go to 2 because you pretty much thought you'd kill me, and then if I had 1 more defensive card in hand, which I didn't.
Yeah, because I Luminar. So I'd managed to get 4 cards in my soul, and you double Eclipse Existent me to get rid of 2. I was like, wonderful. But I Luminarch Ascension, and I think I hit 3 out of 4 of the cards were light, so I could do that again.
Put them back in.
And then just had enough from popping my chest to give me the 1 point to hit you for the extra attack. So that was a really good game, though. It was one of those ones which really shows the power of Blitz and how just smash mouth it is.
Yeah, that's what you need to be doing.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I think that's why, as we've spoken about before, maybe factions like Guardian probably struggle a bit because they want to shell up, don't they? And then 4 or 5 turns in, hit you for 17 or something stupid. Yeah. I forgot what the Seismic Surge tokens do, if I'm being honest.
It makes one of their attacks cost 1 less
when it's played.
The next attack action costs 1 less. Blows up on the next turn.
And you do. You just want to defend, and they've got a lot of ways to do it. I'm actually really looking forward to playing Guardian going forward. I don't know why. I think it's because Prism coming in and shaking it up a bit. It's like Guardian's also going to be good against Prism, because not only do they have lots of 6 attack things that are 6 attack or more, but they also have defense reactions that if you pay more, defend for 9. So who even cares?
Stuff that comes out of Arsenal and defends higher. And
but staunch response and that.
Yeah. I mean, I think that they're going to be quite good against Prism. I think Prism, a lot of people, because they haven't played with the card because they don't own it, the Phantasmal Footsteps just giving you an additional action point is huge, because you can defend it out, but not many times is someone going to have 2 6-cost or mores in hand.
No.
So I'm really interested in playing Constructed. I'm really like, I enjoy this. I enjoy Sealed and Draft so much. Like, it is my main way of playing games. I much prefer it, and I love the fact that that's how LSS is supporting the game going forward in Monarch season. But yeah, I mean, both those events were great. I also had a 4th one where I just opened my packs. I couldn't take part in the event. Got Stubby Hammerer, cold foil. Don't let anyone tell you that your arms are too long to hammer.
Stubby
Hammerer, cold foil. So I'm pretty chuffed with that. I've got quite a lot of stuff from just the 4. Those 4 kits is basically a box, and in at least 2 of my kits, I got 4 or more Majestics. Not bad, is it?
No, it's not. I've got 1 out of each, I think.
Oh.
Yeah. And
Sure,
both spill blood.
Both spill blood.
One of them was a foil, not a cold foil, obviously, because it can't be. But yeah, it doesn't really bother me. I had a bit of FOMO this time on the whole first edition thing.
But we weren't around for first edition properly.
No,
like,
we
just out of
like sheer dumb luck, we opened our first boxes of Arcane Rising and Crew that were first edition.
Yeah, like when
it
didn't mean anything. When it genuinely didn't mean anything.
Unlimited wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
Because it was a year ago. But yeah, no, I did get a bit of FOMO this time. But it'll be interesting to see what happens, and sort of are these some people are putting some really, really cool things, but unless someone wants to buy them and you're willing to negotiate on price, like that. And then it all just becomes about money, doesn't it? It's like,
I think that's the strange world we're living in with this game at the moment. Is a lot of people are asking for prices that would be pretty good in 6 months' time.
Yeah,
but the problem is you're asking for them on release weekend when people still haven't opened all their product, and people have just spent a load of money on boxes.
And want Unlimited to come out. Like me, I'm in the boat. Don't get me wrong, like probably starting with the next set, I'm definitely going to try and get my hands on a case of it, because why wouldn't I? It's stupid.
It feels nice. Yeah. Like, it feels nice opening those things. Like, that's the thing, is I like the event of opening stuff. It's like a real nice, like,
it's good
feeling, and you get some real good, you get like a nice, like, flutter when you're like, oh, I pulled a cool card. And it's not like when I pulled that Shiana, I'll be telling my grandkids this story, but when I pulled that Shiana, like, this was obviously months after Crew had come out. There was none of it available on the market. No. I opened a box at random, and it was like, oh my god. Like, that was like an event. That was like a moment. Whereas, how many times are people pulling a Doomsday? Like, on the day, like each day, how many times are people pulling a Soul, whatever it's called, Soul Chest? It's like they're being pulled every day, dozens of times, even the Fabled. So it doesn't feel special at the moment. Everyone's trying to sell them because, unfortunately, there are probably some people who invested a little more money in the game than they could probably afford.
Yeah.
So there's a big desperation to sell. But I would say, if you can afford to hold on to your cards, if you don't need to sell, keep them for a while.
And if you can't, and you're trying to sell them for too much, probably just consider lowering your expectations a bit.
Yeah, don't price yourself the same as web stores, because web stores are a business. Like, they should be the people.
I've never understood this, because that was the thing in sort of harking back to Magic. I just interrupted you there, but I won't apologise. Harking back to Magic, like, the idea was that shops sold singles, but they're shops. Like, I can pay with a credit card. I am protected by law, etc., etc. But if you went to the Magic groups, it's like, you run the risk of either being conned or something messing up and you're not getting your money back. That's why the cards were half, and I mean half the price.
Yeah.
Unless it was, a sought-after mythic.
Brand new set as well.
Yeah.
It might be 20% less.
That's what I mean, but then you're still getting, then it's still only 60, 70%.
Yeah.
But again, no, that's just everything settling down, isn't it? It's only just...
Like, put it this way, if you go on to Magic Madhouse right now and try and buy a Mana Crypt, you're still looking at about £80.
Yeah.
If you go onto Facebook, you could probably find one for 45.
Yeah.
So, but what people are doing is they're going, well, the stores are selling this for 1,000.
Yeah.
I'm going to sell it for 1,000, and it's like that's just not how it works. It's not how the economy works.
Not classically, no. As you said, you don't. If I'm choosing to spend the extra money to buy it from a store, or at the minute the same money, it comes with all these guarantees.
Yeah.
As you said, not you're protected.
And also you're supporting someone who has a vested interest in the business long term.
Yeah.
Like, they want to sell that, so in 6 months' time when the next set comes out, they can afford to buy more and supply more. And also they're going to be the ones who are selling unlimited singles for a reasonable price as well. So it's just one of those things that's a little bit weird.
It's a mad weekend, isn't it? I don't blame people for it. It's cool.
I 100% don't. I just think like max price is a bit odd.
I'm pretty sure most of the posts I've seen that don't have any comments on probably got a few messages saying, look, I understand you want, €1,000 for it, but I'm going to offer you $750. If no one comes back to you, the offer's open for a week. Other than that,
And I think, and someone said this to me, is that people are scared of what happened to them with previous sets. So previous sets, they sold their cards early-ish for a reasonable price. I remember when we got into the game and the single stores started up, you could buy cold foil weapons for £8 or £10.
Yeah.
And now they're 300 or 250 for most of them, the crew weapons. And it's like, people are scared that same thing's going to happen to them. But remember, that was the first month or 2 months of crew. I bought all the Majestic armour from Australia around Christmas time, maybe January, for £15 each.
Yeah.
So that is what it's going to look like for the first few months. And people just need to accept that. People need to accept that that's how it's going to be. And in 3 or 6 months' time, those prices are probably reflective of what they'll be. But right now is not 3 or 6 months' time.
No. And also, if you're putting the value on the cards, you either want to keep it for 6 months or to a year, like I have, or you're not going to want to play with it, basically, is what I'm trying to say, right? If you truly in your head believe, in your heart believe this card is worth £1,000...
Get it graded.
Yeah, what are you going to do with it? You can sit on it, you can try and sell it, maybe lower your price a bit, but are you really going to want to take it to a tournament?
No. Someone has a shard, James, I think it is, has a shard, and he was like, I'll play it on a webcam tournament, but it's not leaving my house. No. So I get that. That's a £3,500-4,000 card. Makes perfect sense. And I do not judge you or blame you for not wanting to leave a house. But then you've got other people who send them for grading, and that, I think, is a great idea. If you've got the patience for grading, because I know it takes a while at the moment.
Yeah.
But you got the Wizards boots from a random pack. When we first started talking, it was £600.
Yeah.
And that was the price. That was like the high end price as well. Now we're talking 1,200-1,400, and that's like about the middle.
Yeah.
And that's just because you're too lazy.
Too scared. Too scared to sell them because it's just risky, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the long distance. So
I'm not sending them out of the country.
Basically. I traded someone something. I traded someone a cold foil, and the guy was like, "Look, I'd rather come to you."
Yeah.
He lived 50 minutes away, and he was like, "I'd rather come to you than post it." He's like, "I'm not doing anything today." Came down. We had a chat for an hour. Like, that's, and I get that, and it was a perfectly reasonable thing to do. It makes perfect sense because it's difficult.
Yeah. Because it's like, how can you, even if you send it insured, it's like post office turn around and you tell them it's worth £1,200, and they're going to be like, no, it's not.
Apparently, I don't know this because I don't know the ins and outs, but apparently you need to prove the value as well. How do you do that? How do you do that with a random card? Because you haven't bought it, you'd have to make yourself an invoice and sell it to yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's one of those things. It's like, how do you prove that it's worth that? But then you've paid the money for the insurance.
Yeah.
It's insane because no insurance adjuster is going to come to your house after it's been robbed and go, prove that TV was worth £1,000, because they just go, okay, £1,000 TV.
Yeah.
Like
you don't have to have receipts.
Yeah. And that's just a weird thing. But I mean, it's just that whole, it's that weird thing with the pricing at the moment, and I'm cool with it. I'm cool with where the game is. I'm cool with those things. I just think some people need to take a step back But getting back onto kind of another point, we were talking about in passing how LSS are supporting the upcoming Call-In series.
Yeah, where are they?
So they've announced Australia and New Zealand. They have said in the coming weeks they'll be announcing more. Probably
that could be anywhere. Sorry, in the world.
Yeah, they're going to be. They're going to be anywhere in the world. So the only call-ins I've had so far are Australia, New Zealand, and I think there was one in, I want to say Malaysia.
It was some part of Asia, wasn't it?
Malaysia or Singapore.
And they're the ones that make sense, because at the time, those places didn't have any restrictions, right? So
those places don't have restrictions, and they obviously have ties there because they are in the, I think it's called the APAC, the Asian Pacific region is where they are. So they've announced those. New Zealand capped at 250 players. Australia capped at 200.
Oh, okay.
And these events are first edition sealed events. To me, that's big news, because 250 times 6, if my maths is right, is 1,500.
Maybe.
200 times 6 is 1,200.
Can't have a confirm or deny.
That's 2,700. It is right. Plus, there is draft.
Yeah, for the cut, right? Or even
maybe
cut. Just pods.
I think there is pods of draft as well. There's
Yeah.
also an event on the Friday, but that might be a blitz thing. It's like in local shops. They award local shops an event that's tied into it.
Oh, and then the next day everyone goes to the call.
Then the Saturday and Sunday is the call-in events.
Man, that sounds so cool.
Yeah, I know. So that's how they do it. And basically, that is at least 3,000 packs of first edition not in circulation.
Yeah, which, how many packs in a case? 96?
That's over 100 boxes.
Boxes?
Yeah, it's 24 boxes,
Yeah.
24 packs in a box.
So it'd be 2,400 boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's over 100 boxes, over 25 cases. That's pretty mad to think that, like...
They've not been opened.
Yeah.
And they've also got to have enough potentially to run events in other parts of the world.
Yeah. And then prizes. I'm sure that the prizes are going to be like, there's going to be cash prizes, there's going to be prizes for that. I think that that's really smart. And I was kind of always a little bit on this train of save first edition for events. And I'm so happy it looks to be that way. And if they follow in that route, then also you're going to have... Because I think this is in like 2 weeks. I think it's the first week of June. 2 or 3 weeks. So there'll be maybe 2 in North America, like America and Canada, 3 or 4 in Europe because we deserve it. There'll be like a UK one plus a mainland one at the very least, because that's how it always is.
Do you want to go France?
I'll go to France.
Let's do it.
Booze cruise.
Let's do it. There should be one like...
There'll probably be one in Germany or Poland. I always think Poland's really good because it's quite cheap.
Might even be Ireland too.
Yeah. Germany is where Blackfire is, so that's like a partner of theirs.
Oh, I'll definitely go Germany.
And I think Tournament Centre might be based out of Germany as well.
I will do Germany, yeah.
Maybe they're the Netherlands. But
either way. But also, just to reflect, they didn't need to make these events first edition sealed.
No,
they could have made first of all, they could have made them any format they wanted, or they could have waited and it's going to be after Unlimited comes out, isn't it? They could have made them just regular Unlimited, draft and sealed, but because people would have gone, because the game carries its own weight, but they just did it anyway. So
yeah, I mean your packs are part of your event entry anyway, so I think it's like equivalent of like £60 maybe.
Yeah.
But that's a pretty decent event anyway. You're paying your £30 for your packs plus your event entry. I think there's a playmat as well. It's like guaranteed for everyone.
Right.
Like
yeah,
a participation prize sort of thing. I think it's amazing. I really like that season. I cannot wait for them to start to hit other parts of the world, places that are more accessible for us. A 2-hour flight or 2-hour drive. And stuff like that. I'm way excited for that. But yeah, just the idea that part of me has got so excited that they are holding back first edition, and I'm so happy about hearing that, because I do want to see it be used more for prizes, more for events, because that also ties into the fact that randomly woke up one morning this week to an email from LSS going, "Congratulations, you've been awarded Skirmish." This email also said, so Skirmish is going to be Blitz or sealed, first edition sealed. We have kindly been given a first edition sealed skirmish that we can do in person here.
Well.
So
That's all right, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's in the lineup for what you can win?
So the prizes are pretty amazing as well. So top 8 before cut get young cold foil heroes
From
this set.
what, one each or?
So it's one each. Basically, they kind of detailed it. Because obviously
Sorry,
there's gonna be...
not that that's a bad thing. I'm just wondering on numbers.
No,
It's good.
so basically, they said it's top 8, and the way it will work in person is the person who's first gets to pick theirs first. The person who's second.
Makes
So
sense.
I think there's like 2 of each.
It's good. Yeah.
There is a participation prize foils. I can't remember what they are. And there's strangely Command and Conquer playmats for top 2.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, I know, but it's a weird one.
No, it is.
For
It's
the
weird.
set.
I think it is cool though. Harking back to Ark and being like this. Maybe I'm just in Christmas land now, and they already had these mats printed for like a year. But
They could have
it's
done
cool.
because, they did talk about how I think we've talked about it before, is that they moved Blitz early, so maybe these were some mats that they had, or
yeah.
I don't know what it is, but they do look
Command and
good.
Conquer's a cool looking card, so
Yeah, definitely.
I'm down for that.
So there's a really good. So literally, it's as soon as the last skirmish season finished, we've had pre-release season, and now they've announced skirmish 2.
Yeah, non-stop.
Skirmish Boogaloo. But yeah, non-stop event seasons, which is really good because for retailers and everything, yes, we get a monthly
Game night kit or whatever it is.
prize kit that you can use once a week, or you can use as a big monthly event. But these kind of things are a bit more eventy. I do think that all 3 of the UK ones of the sealed are going to be on the same day.
Why?
So LSS have said to the stores that you can do it between this period. I think it's the last weekend in May to the last weekend in June. One of those weekends are very special compared to all the others, which is the last weekend in June looks to be the only weekend that will be outside of restrictions. So it is what it is. I think it's us, Living Realms and Darksphere. If you're in London, if you're in Yorkshire, if you're in Northampton, like Midlands area, like just seek one out, because honestly,
Oh, is there only 3?
I think there's only 3 of the sealed ones, and the rest are Blitz. There might be more sealed ones, but from the retailers that I'm friends with, they've said they've got Blitz. So, so we're looking to do a little weekender with maybe someone else localish. So I've reached out to people there. That'd be really cool, because I know people can't give up all their time all the time. So to go, I'm going to take a Saturday and Sunday, go and play Flesh and Blood, get to know people face to face, and get drunk.
Yes. If you partake.
Yeah, you don't have to get drunk. You could just,
Drink tea.
yeah, a cool beverage. But yeah, I mean...
It's good. It's good stuff. We sit here...
Oh, did I mention that was first edition sealed? I don't think I did.
No, you did before. But
Okay, yeah, so it's
I
first
broke
edition
the
sealed.
fourth wall now.
Yeah, yeah, so first edition sealed on that as well, which is amazing.
Yeah. It's always good, isn't it? Because you just get the extra... Like, sealed's great. Opening packs of Unlimited is great, as we already said. But there is something special about, opening a little icy stubs.
Yeah, little nubby stubs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's really cool. I think those seasons are just getting me so hyped to keep playing the game. And the fact that, we are in the UK starting to move forward into being able to play like face to face.
Yeah, like
which is
fully vaccinated face to face, which is crazy.
Yeah.
To think, like, it's been over a year. Like, we're after March now. We're way after March.
Yeah.
It's been turbulent, but alas, we won't dwell. As we were saying though before, it is great. All these things are great. Continued skirmishes, special skirmishes every now and then for different things, but also, think about the calling, which is like really way up there. But as we were saying before we went live, it seems to be. And now I don't know what's in the pipeworks. And at the minute, I really don't think it's a negative thing. But we do seem to be missing that sort of middle ground, that road from one to the next, to then say the call in or something.
Yeah, so we're currently on. So to use the FFG like analogy look for it. We've currently got store championships.
We've got
to worlds.
Yeah, we've got game night kits obviously with skirmish. Then we've got
so game night kits would be the armory. That's it. Yeah.
Then we've got skirmish events, which would be store championships, and then there's that. You'd have regionals, wouldn't you?
Yeah, so regionals, nationals. Then we're kind of like calling is like Euros.
Yeah.
Whatever they were called, they were continentals.
Well. Yeah.
And then worlds. So the calling is like that next bit. So it would be really cool if we had some more things in between that felt like premier events. Yeah. Or maybe it's just that is just going to be for the event organisers to come up with. Because, not everything has to come direct from the top.
No, it doesn't. And it's good that it doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, I've been very vocal about running, so my events all kind of feed into the Invitational, which I'm going to be doing at either the end of the year or early next year. I know there's been a lot of talk about doing a UK Team Championships, which would be amazing, and just those kind of things. Finding more reason for that person who can't play in stuff regularly or doesn't have a local shop.
Yeah.
For them to, they've got a wife and kids and probably work the weekends. Then to go, I'm gonna take this Saturday, this Sunday, to go and play cards.
Drive for an hour, 2 hours. Yeah, and just play cards. And
there's a lot of people who are in that boat. I mean, I remember playing Thrones. I used to work weekends when I played Thrones, so I had to try and work. Like I had to ask people for shift swaps or take holidays sometimes to go and play a Thrones event. So there are obviously a lot of people in that boat, and I think just making more destination events for those people is really important. And I know we've been, I say spoiled, it's a lot easier for people to take part in a lot more stuff in the online environment, but
I mean it's great, and I'm glad it existed. I didn't really take part in it apart from literally the 2 sealed events because it's not my cup of tea, but it isn't sustainable. Realistically, that's my hardline opinion.
You're right.
It's not sustainable because it's not a digital game. Like I can play tournaments of Legends of Runeterra almost every weekend. There's a gauntlet running, which then qualifies you for something else, which then you'd have to be in your house to play if you qualify for it again. But that's like, apart from the odd miracle or anomaly, nothing can go wrong. But with physical card games, it's too much. Like you need to be able to put your hand up and shout judge and whatnot. And half the game is watching your opponent too, because
there's a lot to that kind of thing.
I don't trust anyone.
There is a lot to that kind of thing. Like you play Magic online, it's not the same.
No, it's not.
Like it's not the same as playing in real life. No. And I do think that. I think you're right about the sustainability of online events because, in all honesty, stores shouldn't be able to keep using their prizes for online events long term. Like you've been able to use them for the last year because you couldn't run an in-store event.
It was a good thing. It was a really good thing. Yeah, but at the end of the day, then you're not just going to end up. Your store's open on a Saturday. All your locals come and play all day Saturday, and then it's like, I'm going to run an online event where no one's from here and everyone's like either abroad or abroad, and you got to send your prizes out, and it's like it's not sustainable. I
100% agree. And obviously a lot of retailers want to get back to having their store open and working their hours because on top of that, if your store is open on a Saturday, for example, you might be open 10 till 10 and you can't run an event while you're open 10 till 10. A lot of stores are run by one man or woman or child or whatever. And they don't have the manpower and the capability to run all these extra things. No. And, so I've talked about this, that I want to do regular Flesh and Blood events. So we have a sealed at the end of this month. We've got a kind of more of an intro style event in a few weeks' time. And I'm going to be trying to do stuff every weekend. I may consider doing once a month doing an online event because there are a lot of people who can't do these things. They don't have a shop. But will I? I have a life. I have a wife. I've got this business. I've got another job.
It's got to have coming from a background of I do working in IT and stuff, there's a phrase that's thrown around a lot, is you've just got to have the appetite to do it. And sometimes, as you say, you know, if the shop's going well and people are actually coming here and, you know, either locally or travelling from, you know, a little way away, or even some people quite far, it's like, that's a Saturday, your Saturday's eaten up. Are you going to spend your Sunday running an online event? No, you're probably just going to sit in the store for a few hours, see if anyone comes in to buy anything, and just have a Sunday instead of working 7 days a week.
Yeah, 100%. And I do think that a lot of retailers will start to move back to real life play, because also a lot of retailers make money from selling drinks and food and stuff like that. And having their tables used up and people buying stuff on the fly. Like,
no, exactly.
When the online events dry up, like, don't take that as a reason to stop playing the game. Take that as a reason to find the events that work for you.
Yeah, and if you don't have a shop locally, or your closest one is like 2 hours right away, just speak to the people there, see if anyone can do anything. I don't know, but yeah, just see how. Especially if I'm basically saying if you're quite a way away from here and you don't have a shop, just speak to Adam or speak to me, and we'll see what we can do about it.
Yeah,
but
not just that. Just like if you live in. I'm trying to think of somewhere where I know that I'm fairly sure there's not a shop. Say you live in Norwich. I know there's a really good card game shop in Norwich. I played there a couple of times, but I don't think I've seen anything from them playing or doing anything. Norwich
Flesh and Blood related.
Yeah, Flesh and Blood related. Sorry. Yeah. Norwich quite far away from a lot of places if that area isn't doing something.
Yeah.
But maybe reach out to that local shop. Don't reach out to your. I always say don't reach out to your local shop if there are 3 other shops in your area doing it, because you'll dilute the pool. I've seen games die because of that.
Yeah, no, don't.
But just
and also ask once, maybe twice, but don't keep pushing people, because then they'll never do it.
Yeah, but as I say, just go to that shop and just say, "Oh, you guys doing Flesh and Blood?" Well, hell, just like it genuinely. If they're not doing it, and you want to start a community in your local area, do hit me up, because I have made loads of pre-made blitz decks. I'll sort you out some blitz decks if you've got some friends who want to play. Because
and you've got 4 people, you grab, you got yourself some blitz decks together or whatever, or a box, and you just mash together whatever you want. Just take it to the shop and be like, look, can we just sit here on the tables if we buy drinks and stuff?
They're
and eventually,
not gonna say no.
If enough people turn up and start playing it.
I remember being in War Games Workshop on a Saturday afternoon with Dan or Richard, playing Thrones, just the 2 of us, and then this guy comes up and is like, "What's this? What's this? Oh, is that Game of Thrones? Oh, I've seen that online." It was Paul Geddes, who ended up playing Thrones till its death, and he's a good friend and part of the community and everything. Like, that's what people seeing you play the game will do.
Yeah. And that's again another reason, as you said, just to come full circle to halt, or put not a stop to, but just let the online events sort of die out on their own and go back in store. Yeah, once a month for an online event is fine. It doesn't need to be 4 days a week like they've been. No. And I don't think they will be, but because the event organisers aren't going to want to. No, and also you're going to need, eventually you're going to need a digital client, whether it's on the likes of Magic Online or something fancy like Hearthstone or Runeterra or something. It's a pain in the arse. I know it's a pain in the arse getting in the car and driving to a shop, but it's just equally as annoying to just sit there with your webcam on, scared to move in case anything falls over, losing an internet connection, etc. I mean, as I love going to events. I love that whole going to an event and having a beer afterwards. I've even had to finally decide that I am going to drive now. So I've never done my driving test because I'm lazy, sort of thing. And I've had to finally decide that I can't put it on Mikey forever to drive me everywhere. So I was like, I'm going to have to share the load. If he wants to get in the terrifying death mode. I was going to say, I'm happy to drive. But if you want to get a license, obviously you should. But yeah, because this is the thing as well, is some of the best moments ever I found playing a card game and going places is that after the event thing. Yeah, and before even travelling, we've been netrunner tournaments, especially the likes of London or Birmingham, where we have really good links to. I'm talking I could get on a train now and be in Birmingham in 40 minutes, right? No, 30 minutes. Yeah, 40. Yeah, I mean, depends where. I think the
NEC is like 30.
Yeah.
But I mean, like hell, when we went to Euros and the 2 times we went to a pub and got really drunk and then went to a hotel. Then that time where we went back to that house where there was 15 of us or whatever in a house, some random guy just walks in and starts talking to us.
Oh God, yeah.
You know, I love those things. That place in London where we rented that massive house.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like those things all are memories. You don't have memories from an online event.
No.
I've won 3 or 4 and I can't remember half of them.
You go there to play the game. Yeah, I had to record mine to do a write-up. You go to these places to play the event, and the event is what you're there for. But yeah, I think everyone secretly...
The true event is the friends we made along the way.
Yeah, I guess. I was just talking more about hanging out, but yeah.
And it's true. Having a beer afterwards, having a meal afterwards, or something like that with some of the people, it's great. We went to that god awful Warhammer event, and then we just went and got Burger King afterwards, or KFC afterwards, or whatever, and just chatted shit for half an hour.
Even that was fun.
Yeah, I mean, I got really drunk at Warhammer. Told the people who made the game their game was rubbish.
No, it doesn't exist anymore.
Exactly. They're selling it on Zavvi.
Have you seen that advert?
You can buy, was it £350 of stuff for 45 quid?
Yeah, I've got it all. I should just be like, anyone want it off me?
Yeah, tenner.
Probably just burn it all, yeah.
I mean, that game wasn't good.
It was cool. The mechanics were good. We're talking about Champions by... Playfusion, Warhammer Age of Sigmar Champions. I liked the way it worked, but they just didn't know how to design cards.
It was quite easy.
Oh yeah, no, it was brain deadery.
It was one of those ones where, and especially some of the level of that. One of their other problems is they gave away so much product as part of their prizes.
I have 6 sealed boxes of that game.
Yeah.
That I'm probably just gonna put in the bin.
Take to a car boot sale. Try and sell it for $5 a box or something.
I don't want to do that to someone.
But that's the thing, that's the thing is, and someone said to me earlier when they came in, they were like, my partner, he was like, my partner works in the industry, and she's worried that this is not going to last. She turned around and was like, in 10 years' time, you're not going to be sitting there playing Flesh and Blood. And I was like, there's a good chance that that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But just enjoy it while you can.
Yeah, exactly. Also, another reason why I'm not bored about first edition. But no, I personally think, provided everything stays the same, I think it's fine. At the minute we're in that stage, well, we're just getting to the end of that stage now, where it's been like a refugee camp for Magic players who are sick of it. I didn't particularly get sick of Magic. I was just like, I'm only going to play one game at a time, so I'll hop over to this one. But if this game did fail, which it didn't, I probably wouldn't even bother going back to playing Magic.
Magic was just too hard to stay on top of.
Yeah.
We had that conversation where when I got into Magic, so you've been playing it for a few years on and off, and I got in for Throne of Eldraine, and you turned to me and you were like, look, rotation's just happened, start playing now.
Yeah.
And in each set you'll have everything, because I drafted a lot and I played sealed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you were like, by the end of the set you'll have everything, and I was nowhere near.
No.
And then there's new sets all the time, and it was just hard.
It's gone a bit out of control. I think it's gone a bit out of control, and also there's just so much discourse. And I thought, I don't like their online client Arena, because I don't like playing limited online. I just don't. So, and that's everyone says, if you want to have all the cards, just play draft 2 hours a day. It's like, no, thanks.
And one of the problems is their extended formats
are inaccessible.
Yeah, not just that, but they're also. You may have invested loads of money in Pioneer, you may have invested loads of money in Modern, or you may have invested loads of money in an older one. But I think Historic is going to be the only thing that lives through this. I think that they might get rid of Modern and they might get rid of Pioneer and just do Historic and Legacy.
Historic's online only.
Yeah, but I think that they could.
I despise Historics for the records, but yeah.
It's insane because there's so many power cards in it.
It's just such a bastardised format, and I'm like, I've played about 3 games of it, and I played a lot of Magic the Gathering Arena, a lot.
I just don't get it. I don't get why they didn't just go, because obviously the client only came in a few years ago. Why they didn't just make Pioneer?
Yeah, and just say, look, Pioneer's, we're up to Kaladesh at the minute, right? Why didn't they just say, look, we'll do Pioneer from Kaladesh, and then we'll just backtrace one set every time there's been 2 going forward.
Yeah.
Or something.
And it's not like they can't just program the cards into the client. Like, they are programming cards into the client.
Well, yeah, but also it is like they can't just do that because their dev team seems like something I've never even seen.
Well, this is the thing. They are programming cards into the client. So why don't they program those cards into the client instead of ones from sets that aren't part of Pioneer? Like, why not just sit down for however long? I mean, I'm not a programmer. I don't know what to do. But obviously there are people who are employed by them who do. And why can't they just sit down and go, let's program Pioneer instead of Historic? And then also release a card in the most recent set that is banned in all these formats anyway. Like Lightning Bolt is, you can't play Lightning Bolt in Historic, so why have you programmed it into the game?
No, it's not. You can't open it.
But you can draft it. You can draft Lightning Bolt.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw Crokies had it. He was like, this is the first ever time I'll cast a Lightning Bolt.
I don't know. To be honest with you, I'm out of the loop and I'm happy for it. That's wrap background. Yes, I'm happy to be playing this game, and I hope it lasts forever. But will I shed a tear if it disappears overnight, like loads of other games I've played? No, it'll be annoying, but it is what it is.
Yeah, for me, I'm enjoying it, and I'm enjoying it while it lasts. And this has felt like an event, which I think is the special thing. The release of this has felt like a big event, and Magic can't capture that. The only thing that can capture that I could see going forth is the release of a new game.
Yeah.
But this has felt like a proper event, and I really value that.
I do believe this game is the fourth corner though, like Magic, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh.
The 4 pillars in wrestling.
Yeah, I do genuinely, because that's what it feels like, and I've seen it with other games, and I just don't think people are going to drop off. Like
you've played a lot more other games than I have. Like you've tested the water in a lot of games, and these are games that are popular. You bought Dragon Ball Z, you bought FFG, FFX, or whatever, Final Fantasy. You bought those games, you've enjoyed those games, but you've also seen those games not take root.
No, they're what I like to call city games. Like unless you live in the likes of London, Manchester, maybe more Bristol-y areas, there's just not enough people that even play games, let alone that game.
Yeah, and I've had a conversation about Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super, and people are like, it's a really good event game, like tournaments and stuff. Like that's a really good game for it. Just hasn't taken root here, and I've not seen communities for it. Why Schwartz? Well, I'm reading about it all the time. I bought into the My Hero Academia set. I was like, look, I'll buy into it for the shop because I love My Hero Academia, and I think it's like the biggest anime in the world right now. So if any set will do okay, it's going to be MHA.
It'll be that way. So. Last time we were able to go to UK Games Expo, there was a big tournament for Dragon Ball Super. But yeah, as you say, like out here in the sticks. It's Magic and now Flesh and Blood or bust, really.
We've got a big Yu-Gi-Oh scene.
There's a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh that travels through, but those guys are like robots, like
they play
machines.
4 or 5 days a week.
Yeah, they just go to place to place. I know they're the ones keeping it floating, like not the game itself. It's the people that are willing just to get out there and do it. So
yeah, and I think that Flesh and Blood, as you've said, is the next one.
I think it's the fourth pillar.
There's a whole thing which I've said about there's a wrestling comparison. So Magic is WWE, and then this Flesh and Blood is AEW. So everyone is WWE. Everyone knows WWE. When you say about wrestling, it's like like the Undertaker, Hulk Hogan, but like there's this undercurrent with AEW of like it's for those people who don't like WWE anymore but want to do mainstream wrestling still. Like you're not going to go play New Japan, which is like White Schwartz or something like that. This is, and I think it's really important to have an alternative.
Yeah,
and that's what this feels like.
No, definitely. I think people will come and go, just like with every game.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll probably notice it a bit more at the beginning because there's simply just less people playing than, you know, the 3 most popular card games on the planet. But until the numbers flesh out a bit, or it plateaus and just steadily creeps up with each release, this is, you know, I mean, it must be doing fine because they're going ham. So I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, and as I say, I think they just need to stay the course, because they're not doing a bad job.
No, don't sell the company to a multi-games company conglomerate either.
Yeah,
that'd help.
I can't see the guy, it's James White, I think is his name, who runs the company. I feel like, for at least for now, I couldn't see that happening. And just, keep it close to the chest, keep doing what you're doing, keep being really transparent with things. I think that's really important, being transparent with your player base, listening to the player base, which I think that they are doing, and they'll just keep going.
It's like he's basically taken a list of complaints from all the other games anyone's ever played and just struck them off and said, I will not do this at the minute. So, what
more can you want? Like, honestly, I'm not going to say that they're infallible, because nobody is. No. But I think
also, like, a lot of people are very entitled as well. You got to remember that too. It works from both sides. Like, why? At the end of the day, why should Wizards care if you don't like X thing? Just don't partake.
People suck.
Yeah.
And on that note, we'll wrap this up. So thank you for
listening to our ramblings,
watching our ramblings, taking part of us. If you want to find out more about what we do, we're on all the socials, Kingdom Gaming UK. This is obviously Kingdom Gaming live on Twitch. Can you be found anywhere else? In a hole, under the bridge?
No, I'm putting something together. It's not ready yet, though.
We'll probably talk about that on the next time we talk. KingdomGaming.co.uk, we have some Flesh and Blood events in Flesh and Blood coming up. We have one more online event, which is next weekend on the Saturday, 15th of May. I have made that a bit of a blowout for online. It is on TTS, so I know a lot of people don't like that, but it's a needs must for the fact that it's Monarch legal. But yeah, do kind of follow us, let us know you like it, subscribe, share, and that's it, really.
Yeah, just enjoy yourself and don't. It's not that.
Just don't.
It's not that deep.
Yeah.
Just be cool.
If you haven't got the first edition, Unlimited's around the corner.
Yay.
See ya!